Recording. What is good, everyone? Ben Deal here in Houston, Texas with the Expand podcast. Super excited for our guest today. We've got Maria Rebollar. She is incredible. She is a realtor. She's a wealth coach. She does a lot in the community, TV show, radio host, name it, she's done it. And she's spending her time in the financial literacy movement. She really focuses in helping people go from good to great in their finances. And really within the context of real estate that we're going to talk about today, why realtors, real estate investors should get familiar with some of the financial tools that are available to all of us, you know, whether you're investing in real estate or not, why these things are important. So Maria, super fired up. Welcome to the Expand podcast. And thank you in advance for joining us at the event happening here in Houston on June 20th. So welcome to the show, Maria. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much, Ben. I feel so honored to be part of the Expand platform where I get to share the stage with the elite, the, creme of the creme of real estate, investors, realtors. And thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really looking forward to connecting with people. I'm excited to be part of the Expand family and looking forward to June 20th, Ben.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's one of the big things. And, you know, I'm grateful. One of the big opportunities is about connecting, being in the room, you know, getting into these, environments where we've got you and literally the best of the best in Houston real estate are going to be in that room. So, Maria, if you could real quick, kind of share where you are, how you're involved with the real estate industry, real estate business, what that looks like for you. I know you spend some time, you're a realtor, you invest, you do residential, commercial. Could you give us just a quick overview of what your life looks like in and around the real estate world?
Yes, absolutely. So Ben, I was exposed to the real estate industry when I was a very young. I was 16 years old. That was, just 5 years ago. But, and when I was 16 years old, I was introduced to the real estate industry. I was given an opportunity to work in a real estate office. And although, of course, I was a receptionist, I always say that when I was 16, I caught on so quickly. I started college early too. So I was in high school, but I already had college hours behind me. And so I just was like a sponge and I consumed and I just gravitated to this industry because I saw how successful this broker was. And so I do owe it to him. I got to give him some props, Mr. Luis Escobedo. I always say that, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself by. And when I just, I was just so taken back by his sales abilities, right? And I was like, wow, this man can sell to a young adult, to a retired person, I mean, I literally saw this man pick up a bum in the streets, take him, showered him down, cleaned him up, and offered him a business opportunity. And so that was my first mentor in real estate, Ben. And so by the time I was 18 years old, I bought my first investment property. The address, I still have all the details in my mind. It's 10618 Dunvegan Way in Houston, Texas. That was my first property. And it was a foreclosure, and I was lucky that I didn't have to invest too much into this property. Turn around and sold it. I bought it for 50,000, turn around and sold it for 105. So I did pretty well for my first flip. So by the time I was 21, Ben, and I don't say this to impress you guys, I say this to press upon you the importance of financial education. So by the time that I was 21 years old, I was already a 6-figure income earner because I just did so well with real estate, from investing to opening my own office for loans. And so it's something that I believe, number one, whatever you're going to do, you have to have passion, because if you find your passion, you find your purpose, right? And so I just fell in love with educating especially my community, because I'm a first generation Mexican American. And so my parents, coming from Mexico, they didn't even know that they can buy a house where they didn't have credit. And so I was just like, oh my God, then why didn't my uncles buy a house? Why didn't my cousins buy a house? And so I
Mm.
fell in love with the educational component, Ben, and that's what catapulted me to where I am now, where I have a big financial superstore where, yes, we are centered around real estate, where we teach the fundamentals of investing and hard money loans. But we believe that the best type of consumer is an informed consumer. So we
Mm.
have financial workshops in 50 states where we're not only talking about real estate, but we're talking about the fundamentals of real estate, from taking care of your credit to debt management to estate planning. And it's not me, I do just have to say, I'm not an attorney, but I am, part of my platform is the top rated estate planning attorney in the United States of America. I want to say I feel very proud of that. And Mr. Glenn Wagstaff is actually going to be at the event. So he is our attorney, and he's going to be there to help answer any questions that anyone might have about estate planning, and it's just really important that as investors, as realtors, that we are sharing this information with our clients, our just the importance of doing things right. And so
Yeah.
that's what we bring to the table, Ben. Just a whole lot of information, valuable content and information. So you guys make sure that you guys register. We are quickly running out of spaces. It's a limited seating, right, Ben? So
That's
you
right.
guys need to register ASAP. You can't miss out on this event. It's truly going to be valuable. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's so good. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing, the breadth of what you've done, what you're currently doing, where you've been, where you're going. And I do want to kind of just pair it on to the estate planning piece. My background is in real estate investing, primarily wholesaling, met with thousands of homeowners, being of service so you could provide a solution. And the one thing that I do share with all the homeowners that I had the opportunity to work with, a lot of the people that I was meeting with that were in any sort of form of distress, it was due to a lack of financial planning. So, whether it was not having a will, an estate set up, a trust, whatever, a lot of the people that come into some challenging times with their real estate, especially families, legacy families, generational family properties that have been in families for a long time. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the real estate investing community is the solution for a lot of those needs that need to be met by these families, because there has been a lack of planning around like their assets, their real estate, and everything else. So, a lot of the people that I speak with, that's why I'm grateful for, what you're doing and the work that you're doing, how you're going out and serving, because a lot of these problems that real estate investors get to solve is really it's really due to the fact that there's been some missed opportunities on the financial planning side for these families and homeowners. And I know if you've been in the real estate investing, business for as long as you have, I'm sure you may feel or kind of see a lot of those similar things, right?
That is correct. So there's two cases that I can tell you guys about, and the attorney again he's actually, because we're limited with time because there's so many amazing speakers. He actually will be doing a workshop in my office where he will be talking about the importance of estate planning,
Mhm.
and he will be connecting it with real estate. So
Yeah.
I'll invite everyone is going to attend at the workshop for free if they go to the workshop. And so, yes, Ben, you are absolutely correct. There's two cases I can tell you about here in Texas. One, this gentleman had some, not only obviously his bank accounts, but his legal guardianship of his children, but also his investment properties. And a lot of times it's like we think, we don't think about this. We just don't think that, I don't know what we're thinking sometimes, like if we're invisible. And so, he had a stroke, and then the hospital told the family that because the wife didn't have a conservatorship for his health, that they needed to basically find an attorney, and then go to court. Number one, court is not free. It's also, time consuming. It took them 18 months, Ben, for them to get something where the family can make medical decisions. Just for the hospital would be making all the medical decisions. Well, the gentleman couldn't speak, couldn't, he became completely disabled. And so this is very important for investors. Like, if something were to happen, who's going to make that decision for you? And so this is what we're going to be talking about. So one, and then two, of course, you've probably seen this all the time, where maybe someone passes away, and then if you don't have the correct documents in place, then your property, unfortunately, we have a case now where the family, where we did a for sale by owner type transaction, and then the family didn't have anything in place. Both the parents passed away, and then the siblings, one didn't agree. The point is, they lost the property. It went to foreclosure. And so it is very important, obviously, one, is a consumer, and then as investors, we need to know this information. Our amazing pastor taught me, Ben, that put the information in you when you don't need it, so that it'll be there when you do need it. So yeah, so you guys, yeah, again, come on out. And what you'll get from me, again, my name is Maria D. D is my middle name. My last name is Rebollar. If you change the B to D, it's dollar. And so it's so funny how when I did TV and radio shows, and because I started off with Christian television, my audience started calling me in Spanish, it sounds a little, it sounds beautiful, man. But in Spanish, it was like La Angelita de las Finanzas, the angel of finances. But then, because I started preaching this message on, we have financial cancer, and if we're not planning correctly, we are leading to a financial cancer. I'm sorry. So and so my message was, I'm going to help you eliminate the financial cancer in your life that you didn't even know you had, if you're not planning properly. So then I was baptized with the name Money Doctor, because I'm like, oh, this Money Doctor is helping eliminate financial cancer. And then it's, I get so tickled because my name, it's M for Maria, D, my middle name is D. And so it's like MD, and my last name Rebollar. But if you change the B to D, it's dollar. So red dollar, right? So then, I received that name because that's my passion. My passion is just educating the communities on the importance of financial literacy. So yeah.
Man, that's so good. Yeah, and I think, and one of the things that, just hearing your story and your testimony, like, the event's called Expand. So we're talking about expansion of your business, your mind, your heart. And I'm interested to know kind of the genesis story for, as I went to school, it was very segmented, the traditional go to school, get good grades, kind of fall into the corporate world, which is exactly what I did, like straight through school to a Fortune 500 company, and for you, it sounds like you had a much different path, and like that whole mold was broken very early. So what was it for you that kind of helped in that moment where you're like, it sounds like you had a mentor, but what was it that made that shift for you that, kind of honestly saved you a lot of time? Because it took me, over, whatever you call it, 15, 20 years, to quote unquote, see the light of like what's available to me in real estate. Like, what happened for you when you were so young and you got set off on this path of real estate, financial freedom to where you are now?
Well, Ben, I don't think we have enough time, but you know what? For us to, but I'll tell you, honestly, it was two things that catapulted me so early on in my career. One, we grew up so dirt poor. My mom, it's seven of us total siblings. I'm the oldest of the girls. But I look the youngest, FYI. I'm just kidding. But the oldest of the girls, and Ben, in the Latino culture, the oldest is kind of is given like a parent role, right? When I was very young, my mom, because of the uh her not speaking the language, would make me go to school, pretend I was 18 when I was only like 14. And so she would ask me to go because she couldn't speak English and she had to work, to the teacher parent conferences or whatever, or if my siblings just needed anything. And so I never understood why I just had such a big role at a young, early age. But then
Mm,
fast forward, my mom was deported. And my mom was deported. I was only 16 years old. And the good thing is that I didn't know anything about real estate. I didn't know anything about life at 16 years old, but I knew that I didn't want to continue living in the projects. And I made my mother buy us a mobile home. Thank God that I made her do this. I said, Mom, I know how much money you get when you get the income tax, and I need you to get us out of here because it was just horrible. And so it was just a horrible place to live. We were bullied. And so anyways, so when she moved us and she was deported, I didn't have a mortgage. And so, but this mobile home was, we didn't have AC, we didn't have heat, and I was the responsible adult. But thank God that my mom had put that responsibility on me since younger, that when I was 16 I had the whole mom dad role, with my siblings. So that was one. And so I want to encourage the audience, like, your past doesn't identify you, right? We are the author of our story. And so I knew that I was the only answer to get I was the oldest, that I needed to get my family out of that situation. And so when I was introduced to the real estate industry, I just knew. I was like, I'm gonna buy them a house. So one, just growing up so poor, that I said, no, I won't have this. And so, but two, also, my mentor, Luis Escobedo, I at that time was super shy, and he gave me a book. He gave me a book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, by Dale Carnegie, Ben.
mhm.
And so I didn't have any friends because I was busy working and going to high school and college and take care of kids. So I didn't have time to have friends. My mom wasn't there, my father wasn't there, and so I made books my friend.
Mhm.
I pretended that book was talking to me. And I said it earlier when we first started. Uh when my I would see this broker, I was like, why is he so good with people? And when I got the book, I was like, this is him. He got this from this book. So then I fell in love with reading.
Mm.
So again, I said this earlier, you're the average of the five people you surround yourself by. And to me, I didn't have anyone to surround myself by other than my broker, who became my mentor, but he was too busy, working, making all this money, that I made books my mentor.
Mm.
And so, Ben, that is what did it for me. It helped change my mindset. It helped me think differently. And so I also have a book club, and we can do it via Zoom. So we meet twice a month, and we're very strategic on the books that we select. I have a team of agents that I oversee all over the US. And a lot of times, Ben, I believe that leaders can be developed. There are some leaders that were born already, but I do believe that you can be developed. And I train and I license agents all over the US. And the reason why we select these books is because it helps us. It's helped me as in so many ways. Sometimes I think, wow, did I just really say that? How did I come up with that? And then I realized, oh, it's a book that I read like 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And so it's just, to me, it's books is a way to just change that stinking thinking, says
Yeah.
one of our pastors at our
That's right. No,
so
it's so good.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're talking about. So, this is about expanding your business. So, like, tools, strategies, tactics, but really then we move to the mindset piece that you kind of talked about, in and around, the investment, the books, the information, the people that you're surrounding yourself with. And then what I really like getting to is the heart, like in the motivation and what your drive is now today. So, like, when you think about your desire to serve, what is it like to go out and educate, to, share the information that you have, the wisdom, the insight? What is it for you from a heart standpoint that leads you to, continue to go out and expand, grow a team, influence, mentor, teach? Like, what is it behind you that really, keeps that fire lit and moving?
So, Ben, like for me, I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I was given when I started in real estate. And so to me, I think that a lot of times it's like there's so many people out there with that have, that burning desire to have a different outcome, and all they need is an opportunity. So for me, because somebody gave me the opportunity, and that's how I feel that I was developed, and but I didn't give up. I didn't give up. I've been in this real estate industry so long, where I've seen two recessions already, and uh so for one is finding people that have, because I have people in my team that have so much potential, Ben, but here's what I tell them. I don't work with potential, I work with commitment. Because
Mm.
I can take someone with no potential, and I can help them, find, the potential that maybe they didn't know they had. But if they're committed, I feel like my platform, I feel like real estate, when people want to purchase this house, they're not purchasing because, it's from Remax and it's this gorgeous realtor that has this amazing picture on there. No, people are falling in love with the products. So that's what I feel, that with my platform, our products sell themselves. So what keeps me motivated is that, I pray to God, don't bring me someone, Lord, like me, because I know my weaknesses, right? Bring me someone that's better, right? And so I just pray, like, man, I know when I first started, Ben, in the financial services platform, I was a single mom. I have pictures, by the way, I posted it the other day on my Facebook. My son, I'm just so proud of him. We just got back literally from celebrating his 21st birthday, and he was accepted to a NASA internship program. But here's what I tell people. See, my babies paid the price with me. My sons, and I posted this the other day, it's like, um pay the price with me, where so I'm speaking, I guess, to those who might have an excuse behind this, behind maybe, wanting to chase your dreams. And I know for a lot of single mamas out there, it's like, well, I have kids, life is hard, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, I had kids too, but you know what, they were doing their homework behind the desk, they were eating dinner behind the desk, cold sandwiches, and so, or whatever it took. And so now you see the fruit of, of the seeds that you planted, and I just feel so honored, that, yeah, whatever you sow, you will reap, right? And so to me, what just keeps me motivated is, like, I know there's more, not Marias out there, but better, I know there's other people out there that are looking for an opportunity,
Mm.
and I'm here to offer it. And I'm just here to, like, it's like I said, what good did it do me that I earned, I was a six-figure income earner when I was 21 years old, if I didn't know what to do with it wisely, right, at that age. So, I just get to teach people what nobody taught me. I just, every time, if you heard me speak, or if you come to any of my workshops, I'll show you my son's account, where I showed my son, baby, don't do what the wealthy do. They pay themselves first, then
Mm.
you spend, right? So I love that I have, numbers already. I have proven track records. I have clients who, with my platform, I mean, what 29-year-old do you know that has $200,000 in their bank account? And that's the case of my client, Mr. Flores Macias, who's 29 years old and took my workshops, and at 29 was able to take that money and purchase real estate. And my son, who is started his account when he's 18, he now has, something in place where by the time he's 67, guaranteed $1 million, guaranteed. So that's what I love, Ben. I love just bringing this information to people, and just knowing that, I'm not just here to change one life, but I do believe in my heart that what I'm doing, it's changing generations to come, and that's very rewarding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, and I just think we heard Ed Milet speak just over the weekend, and he talked about the power. He's got his book out, The Power of One. He's got he just tell like his testimony, his story around how he was the transformational character, like in his family's life, like literally changing the dynamic and the direction and trajectory of his family, just because of where he came from and his entire story. If you don't know Ed's story, like go out.
Oh, of course. Ed is part of my
Yeah,
platform, Ben.
yeah.
Yeah, and so Ed Milet is part of my platform. He is a member of my organization, and he brought. So yeah, we not only have I been a fan of Ed Milet before anybody knew him, because I've been in my industry now for 12 years, and Ed Milet was one of the first speakers I heard on our stage. Where I was like, oh my God, this man is. Why isn't this man like famous? And so then fast forward, now we have Ed Milet, who's like, now he's such a reputable speaker all across the nation. And
Yeah.
he brought Grant Cardone to our organization as well. And so I've been very blessed to have the best of the best and be mentored by the best of the best. And so yeah, we covered his book in my in our book club. And isn't it amazing? He talks about that. See, I'd never heard this word before, the reticular activating system.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, so when you put something in your mind, and so when you're determined, your mind starts looking for it. So yeah. So that's why I got to get connected with your money doctor. We're here
That's
to just deposit all these amazing stuff, the book club. And so it's definitely such an inspirational story of how he grew, him and Grant Cardone, how they grew up dirt poor. And their parents, Ed Milet's dad was an alcoholic. And so, how it's just one decision, can just change the whole trajectory of your future. And those are stories that I gravitate to, and I just magnetize to, because I have a very similar story. And so but I see it already, with my generation changing as well, and just seeing that my son was just accepted for an
Yeah.
internship at NASA, growing up dirt poor, an immigrant in this country. And also, grew up with an alcoholic father, where saw all this abuse. Yes, there are people in my same situation that, because of what you grew up with or what you saw, we could have said, because I saw that, I'm going to become an alcoholic or whatever. Or like we could have the Ed Milet ending or story, where no, because of what I saw, I refuse, and so those are all books that I've
Yeah.
fallen in love with. And so yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
love
So
it.
yeah, and as we wrap up, the event's called Expand, happening here June 20th in Houston. What does Expand mean to you, and why is like expansion important?
So, Ben, so for one, I love, that what you have, on is business, mind, and heart, and so expand, remember, to me, it's like, we never stop learning. We never stop learning. And just hearing from somebody, matter of fact, the person who introduced me to commercial real estate is my very good friend, who are like family to me, Boris Sanchez, and so I've known his story from day one. I remember him inviting me to go take a Than Merrill, event. And I'm like, hey, here we go. We go to Dallas, we go to San Antonio. And so I know his story. And it's just so amazing to see him go the real rags to riches story, not only him, but, Andrea Cruz, who's part of my platform. She's one of my amazing MVP agents from my platform. And so I can tell you, Ben, that for me, just learning from them, learning from all these amazing speakers, and one, yes, expanding our mind. And I think we're already passionate about what we do, but I think just hearing them again, hearing you speak, it's just going to, I think, just confirm, what's already in our heart. So I invite, you guys need to be here again. You have to become a student of your business, and so you have to invest in yourself, And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And the fact that the estate planning attorney, he's from Utah, the fact that he is very sought after in 50 states, the fact that he reserved that date to come and make himself available for you guys for any legal questions that you might have about estate planning, a trust, the difference between a will, what is probate court, and all that. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to share the platform with with all these amazing elite type of investors. And so thank you, Ben,
Yeah,
for
no,
that.
thank you so much. And, I honor your time, grateful, for you. I know you've got so much going on in between the work, travel, living the life that you live. So I invite you all. I think the biggest thing, that I heard you say, work with commitment, work with the people that are committed. We're asking and inviting you all to be committed, to come join us, to be in the room. And more importantly, just where are you investing in your business? I think a lot of times in real estate entrepreneurship, we kind of slough off these opportunities to invest in ourselves, whether it's money, time, whatever it is. But I guarantee the investment, just like you've heard, the small little story, bit time we spent together with Maria. We've got Maria and literally the best of the best in real estate that's in Houston that's going to be in this room. So we invite you. It's the opportunity to join us, get in the room, see what connections you'll make. I guarantee you'll hear one tactic, one strategy, one advice, one connection with someone that's going to be in that room that can forever change the trajectory of your life and your business. So Maria, if anybody wants to reach out, get in contact with you, where's the best place to connect with you?
Yeah, so they can connect with me. They can reach me personally. My cell phone is 713-551-6299. They can find me in social media, Maria Rebollar, that's REB de bonita, Bollar, or they can go to our website as well for the workshops. For the workshops, we're in 50 states, and the workshops we can do it via Zoom. They are absolutely free. Every workshop is it's different, and it's 3 times a day, 5 days a week. And so yeah, and so they would go to New Era Financial Services. So New Era Financial Services, and we'll have more information at the event. And so I look forward to it. Ben, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I'm just looking forward to connecting with people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much,
Thank
Maria. We'll see
you.
you June 20th here in Houston, Texas. Thanks, Maria. We'll see you soon.
That's right.